Okay. All right. Day one is complete. It is. Oh, what time is it? Oh, it's 7:30. It's 7:30. I'm gonna get ready for bed. Sorry, I just watched a YouTube video. Right now on vacation, I'm probably not gonna catch a lot of videos. I'm just gonna keep it real because I'm recording stuff. No, I'm like serious. Like I'm excited to be home, and I'm excited to like go over my videos like at a later, like maybe a year or two from now. Like I get excited for that kind of stuff because I'm like, I forget a lot of stuff, and then that's why I enjoy all these like little snippets. So in a lot of ways, I'm really selfish. I make my videos for me. Um, but I do want to develop this idea. Look, all I'm saying, no, all I'm saying for real. Okay, look, Michael, Christian, we we should definitely. No, I was thinking about this. Why couldn't we actually? No, no, no. Like even if you guys don't want to do this, but hypothetically, I was like, any person could redo a show, like hypothetically, like a group of like six people. Wait, what? Is it six people? Hold on. No. Yeah. Yeah. You had. Okay, sorry, I had a brain fart right there. But all I'm saying is anyone with their friends could just like redo the show Friends and then just post it on their own YouTube channel and then like watch. And then what would be cool too is then if like like all the actual actors like watched your version and then they commented on your version. No, because I think that would be interesting to me because it's not just about lifting up like a group of people. It's about like lifting everyone up. So like I think it's also really special when like someone who's a celebrity like watches material or just even like all I'm saying is it's not. I really don't feel like it's a up or down thing. It's like we're all collaborating, we're all making stuff, and like yeah, everyone's kind of like at a different place. But I mean, does that really matter? Like, does that matter? Like, if someone doesn't have editing skills yet, or like just the ability, excuse me, to speak perfectly or eloquently. I think a lot of those things just come with experience and time. And that's the thing is like we all go through that. So it's like if you're further down the road on that path, then I mean you probably know that better than anyone else that we're all evolving and getting better. So all I'm saying is you guys should really consider this. No, no, I'm just saying like I think I could play. I mean, okay, look. I could see how philosophy, archaeology, is no archaeology probably. I think most people would think archaeology is more important than philosophy. But here's the thing. This is what's funny. Philosophy is really just about taking in as much information in real time and trying to formulate the best possible solution in the moment, I guess. So it's really just about problem solving in your mind. So it's like I always felt like philosophy was applicable no matter what you did, and that's why I found it so attractive. And I actually remember uh, one of my professors. Oh my gosh, I forget her name, but she was amazing. She was hands down one of and our department chair. Shout out to you, sir, Cope Caston. Awesome dude, awesome dude. I remember this was like way, but I don't even remember. I remember getting a letter saying he was retiring. I was like, dang. I was like, dang. He was still there, dude. That shout out to him. He was an amazing man. Actually, you know what? I don't remember a bad professor or learning experience in college. That's how amazing um, the education system is at Ripon College. I really, really appreciate that. I really appreciate that immensely. I think a college degree is, for me personally, because it was about me and like wanting to like just I just wanted to understand myself better. I think that's what it was, and I was just trying to like focus on like, what is real, like what is truth, what can I actually put my hands on, like, and I don't think I'm any closer to that. I actually feel like I'm far further away um, to the destination. If that, I don't even know if that doesn't even really make any sense. But all I'm saying is the truth. I don't know if I'll ever be able to find the truth. I'm coming to that kind of like realization that I'm like, well, you know what? Maybe the truth is just sometimes it's not possible to get the truth. I don't know, or I don't even know why I segued into that. But all I'm saying is, dude, I'm exhausted. I'm sorry. Like, if someone's like, this guy's all over the place. Look, I spent all day sightseeing in my hometown. I don't want to be too loud because I know there's people. I know people like in the room next door don't want to hear me rambling to my my dozen of, or no, I'm appreciative to anyone. Like, even if it's like one person with like 16 accounts, which is possible too. I mean, who knows? I don't know. But all I'm saying is, I'm just grateful for. Actually, you know what? YouTube is awesome because even if I'm not like dialing someone's physical phone number, like there are times when I'm like, yes, this person is communicating directly to me and I am communicating directly to them. And if you don't understand, then that's the thing. That's what I think about when I watch a video and it doesn't make sense to me. Then I'm like, okay, that video wasn't for me. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like, if I just watch something and it makes perfect sense to me, then that's when I'm like, okay, that was made for me, or people who think the same way as I do. So no, I'm being serious, gentlemen. Like, I think it would be so fucking awesome to like redo Friends. Okay, so but I just want to know who you would pick to play. Well, you know what? I'd have to say, like, how would you guys want to do that? So, like, hypothetically, no, I'm just saying hypothetically. Hypothetically, if we did rent an apartment in New York and then we rented another apartment across the way, so that the three people that we chose to play Phoebe, Monica, and Rachel would live across the hall, and then we would live on the other side. All I'm saying is, who would you guys, or okay, so like hypothetically, let's say I do play Ross. Can I just call you Mike? Do I have to say Michael? Mike. I'm gonna just say Mike, if that's okay. So Mike is Chandler, and Christian is Joey. Christian. I'm gonna have to give you a nickname that I'm gonna have to come up with. No, I like your name, but I'm just saying, like, everybody's gotta have a nickname. You can give me my nickname. I think this could work, though. Okay, I'm just gonna keep it real. Okay, so if I'm playing Ross, hypothetically, if she was available, I know she's really, 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 really busy, and so I wouldn't even bat an eye if she wasn't able to do it. But and that's the thing too, is I always think, like, you know what, it's okay if, like, I ask somebody, or if I say, look, I would love for this person to join me or to do this collab or whatever. But if they can't, like, I'm the first to say, you know what, I'm sure it was just scheduling. Like, I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, they just, no. I'm like, you know what, even if I don't know what I'm saying. Look, I just don't. I'm like, I don't know if it's right or wrong to name drop. Okay, I've been doing it. No one has been like scolding me, or maybe if they have been, I just haven't been paying attention. But okay, in my fantasy world, the three people I would pick. So for Rachel, I would pick Emma Chamberlain. I think Emma Chamberlain could play a good Rachel. I really do. Okay, this is just me though, and this is just for the moment. So I think for Monica, I was just thinking Jenny Ellie. I don't know why. I don't know why. I think Jenny Ellie could play a good Monica. I think she could. I could be so off. I could be so off on personalities. I really could be off. And then I think when I thought, um, when I thought Phoebe, I thought of Watch Gringa. So that was the first person that popped in my head. Because I think Watch Gringa could play a good Phoebe. I really do. I think you have that. I think you have that, like, that humor. That no, Phoebe was fucking awesome. Like the character and the actress, I'm sure is awesome too. But that's the thing too, is like maybe I just did it, or maybe I just always separated the actor from the role, and I always like just appreciated the role. So I'm like, it's like almost like the role is like its own character in a way, if that makes sense. I don't even know what I'm saying, to be honest with you. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. That probably doesn't make any sense, but shout out to everyone that no, I'm just look. All I'm saying is I think it would be fun to do to like no to like do, because I'm sure the same. Here's what I think. The same way when I was growing up, and I just watched. I saw everyone that I knew kind of getting into cars and like the tuning scene and all that, and then kind of like a couple years later, or around the same time, I guess. Like you have the Fast and Furious. So I'm just curious, maybe like, was that a thing like in New York? Like, did they have like, I'm sure like, right? Because I guess it's probably the same way here in San Francisco, where I never got to experience that because, I went to college, but I'm sure like, the whole roommates and no, I think that would be cool. That's all I'm saying. To like actually, you know, have friends that are also your roommates, but then also like across. Well, you know what? That was like it was kind of like that in college. I remember like I would always be. No, it was actually like that. I didn't think about that. No, that's absolutely true. No, that's absolutely true. Actually, that makes a lot of sense now. Now I can like look at myself a little bit more. That's what I do. That's what I do appreciate about self-reflection. It's like the more I like talk, I'm like, oh damn. I was like, oh damn. I was like not smart in those in certain situations. I think we all have been smart and not smart in situations. It's just which things do we want to acknowledge. Okay, I'm gonna stop. All right. Thank you for letting me ramble. Thank you internet, for allowing me to post stuff so I can look at it at a later date. All right. I love you. Have a good night. Tomorrow. Oh, so I wanted to tell you I don't have a plan for tomorrow, but I was thinking maybe Caltrain. I was thinking maybe the train. Actually, I have a few things I'm thinking about. I think maybe Alcatraz, just because I haven't been there in forever. And then maybe I might take the car too. I wanted to give the car just like a little bit of rest. I'm like, I know it's a vehicle, it's not a human, but like I think too, like the car. Who knows how long it's been sitting? I'm grateful. I could cycle through. I think 2 tanks. So now literally the gasoline that's in there should be like relatively new, because I mean you know that's the one thing too, like cars don't run good when you got to just get all that gas through. So I think as I drive the car more, I think it's gonna really smooth. It's smooth. It's got that what's that called, step tonic, step. Forgive me, if I'm not saying it right. Step tonic. But I was looking at the window sticker and I'm like, the transmission is very, very smooth. And I was thinking too, I'm like, maybe I'll change. My goal is when I get home, I'll probably change all the fluids. So change the transmission fluid. And I'm really excited because I'm like, no, I love the car. I really do. And if you would have told me, that's what's so funny about life. If you would have told me when I was 20, 18, 18 for sure, I would have laughed in your face. If you would have told me that I would be driving around on a BMW convertible, because I always talk so much shit about convertibles, and then I didn't talk shit about BMW, but I was just like, I didn't really seem attainable, if that makes any. It didn't seem like something that I could own. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, it just seemed just unapproachable to me. Like, it just seemed out of. It might as well have been the equivalent to like a Bugatti, you know, except, you know, I don't think a Bugatti can't really like be your daily driver. So like, I guess in some ways there really isn't a comparison, because like technically I wouldn't even want a Bugatti. Um, But that's what's strange too, because it's like, so my dad owned a Porsche, so like I didn't think twice. I mean, like Porsche is like, I don't know, like I don't want to. It's not attainable because like my gosh, like I don't know how like a 911 now it's like 100,000 something like that. Well, you know what, the BMW's getting up there too. Like I mean you're looking at what are you paying for like a an M2? I don't know. I haven't looked the price, but I'm just saying, like, I think what was that? The M. I forget all the numbers now. I'm sorry. I haven't kept up with the. I still, like, in my mind, I still use like M3 and M5, but I remember. Okay, so just if we took an M5, like that was what I wanted when I was younger, as a family car. And there were I believe there were like 80 in the high 80s. I could be way off. But I mean, that's still like, even now, that's still significant. I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I don't like to like make sweeping generalizations like that, because I'm like, well, I don't know, because you know, to a lot of people, 80,000 is not a lot of money. So, and then to a lot of people, that's like unattainable too. So I'm like, I don't want to. Like, I don't know. I don't know where I fall in the spectrum. I really don't. I really, really don't. Because, okay, yeah, like, when the news. So here's the other thing that's funny. So, when the news would post, like, all our salaries, they would post all the cops' salaries. But they were very disingenuous. They would say that we would make, like, so I think when I saw the article, they said I made, like, 180,000, 186,000. But here's the thing, they put in so the department pays like 80 something thousand for your medical. So like, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say that, but I mean, like, I think, well, other jobs don't do that. All I'm saying is, like, you can't compare. You got to compare apples to apples is all I'm saying. Like, how can you take, you know, a police officer's salary and you're like, well, okay, so like, because realistically, so most officers were making like, I mean, really, I don't want it, but like you're doing really well. Okay, so like, there's a lot of officers that were making 100,000, but you're doing overtime. You're doing overtime, or you're in a specialized unit. So you're putting in a lot of time. Is all I'm saying, to make 100,000. So you know, and I think nowadays, I think 100,000 is still like. That's still like pretty good money. I don't know. See, I haven't been working for 3 years, but I still think that's pretty good. But then again, I don't know, because, you know, for example, you know, I remember when I was working, you know, In and Out, they're paying $15 an hour, and I thought that was pretty. I still think that's amazing, but you know, I went to Half Moon Bay and I talked to the gentleman at Burger King, and Burger King starting at, I forget, I think 1850. Okay, and then I think he said In and Out here is starting above that, or no, maybe it was 1650. But all I'm saying is, okay, so I think the Burger King started at 1650, and In and Out here starts at 1850, I believe he said. and then In and Out gives you paid vacation, uh, and I think time and a half or double time, he said, because he said he doesn't get um, time and a half for holidays. And I'm like, wow, that's so crazy, bro. But I don't know how all the businesses work or corporate work. So I'm like, I think in a lot of ways I was very, very fortunate to work for um, the the state, because I mean, when I talked to my family in Mexico, my uncle, he would always tell me that when I was a kid. He was always like, no, it's always best you gotta work for the government. He would always tell me that. He's like, no, work for the government, try to get up inside the government, high ranking positions in the government. I was like, all right, uncle, thank you. No, he's a very smart man. That's the other thing I really appreciated about the people when I would go back, or Bogo go back. I say go back home because like I spent like kind of like the first 3 years of my life in Mexico, but whenever I would go back, like everyone was so helpful. They're so helpful. Like everything people would tell me, everything people would like, every interaction with everyone in my family, it was like them trying to like show me something, or explain how I should do this, or like this is a good thing. So I'm like, I'm so fortunate. I really believe that like if I wouldn't have had all those interactions, I really don't think I would be the man I am today. And that's 1,000,000% true. And not just all the people that I interacted with in Mexico, because Mexico is like in that gray zone. I really believe that, because like there are a few countries that are in like, they're not first world, or no, I think maybe now it's different. But when I was growing up, so back in the 80s, early 90s, when those were okay, so like I spent the early 80s in Mexico, living in Mexico, and then I would visit kind of like in the early 90s, no, the late 80s. But all I'm saying is during that time period, Mexico really was like the second world. Like they weren't first world. It really wasn't first world. Like my grandparents had what most probably anyone considers to be, they were pretty well off. Okay, I'll just say that. They had like a 2-story house. It had a lot of rooms. It had it was just a significant building, is what I'm saying. But even that building didn't have like running water. It only had running water. So here's how that works. So I remember, so the kitchen was upstairs, but the kitchen was the only room that had running water upstairs. So like my uncles had to have like they had these vases where they would like just pee into it and then take them downstairs. So like what happened was like all the rooms, like you literally had to leave the house and go like to a little corridor to get to where you shower, and the toilet, and like where you wash all your clothes. And they had like a well too, but the well had water that was like, it was like big, so like the water was always, I don't know, it was flowing. I was a kid, so I didn't understand how it worked, but there was a lot of water there. And all I'm saying is, so like all of that was separate from the house. So like I don't know, it's weird, right? So like you don't associate wealth with like not having running water. I think I know that in the U.S. like that's or actually no, I don't mean just in the U.S., but like that's a thing people say, where like, oh well, this part of the world doesn't have running water. But I don't think I had a point to that story. But no, all I'm saying is I don't know what I was saying. I appreciate Mexico, and I appreciate all the things I've learned from people. I really think maybe now it's different. I actually, you know what, to be honest with you, after doing like, okay, so like I do have this idea for the Friends, for doing Friends, but I also have another idea, just because I just watched Lolly's video about how she's doing a collab with a shade tree surgeon. But I was just thinking, I was like, you know what? I would like to do a road trip, like in my new car. I would love to do a road trip to, just to go, like, I would go south through Mexico, and then, like just go to Panama, get stem cells in Panama, and then just keep driving south, go through Peru. Like I've always wanted to go to Peru. I've always wanted to go to Peru. And here's the weird part: like it's not like I don't. It's not like I was ever. The first time I smoked a cigarette, I was in sixth grade, I believe, sixth grade. Um, but like I didn't ever really smoke very. I was always just like socially, not even like a lot is what I'm saying. Like, and it wasn't very often. When you say socially, like that means could mean a lot of different things. I think like you could be um, doing it every day socially. But what I'm saying is like no, like I didn't smoke at all in high school. I didn't smoke at all in college. Really, like I don't like maybe just like at parties occasionally, like a few. Okay, so when they flew me out to like see the campus, it was like I'm a 18-year-old. They got me. They got me is what I'm saying. Like they when they roll out the red carpet for you and you feel like $1 million and you're 18 years old, you're like okay. But the difference is like I got an education out of it. So like it wasn't like I just went for yeah. All I'm saying is like no. I'm very grateful. I'm blessed. I'm thankful. So actually, it's not even like they bamboozled me. Like they literally treated me like just the best way I've ever been treated in my life. And then they gave me like I don't what like very generous. Like I would say 3/4. Like when I was done with 4 years of college, I only owed like what did I owe? So it was how much was it? I don't even remember the numbers. It was 20. So crazy. This is what's crazy because I think was it $20,000 a semester? No, so I think for wait no hold on. I think it was 20,000 a year. I really don't think it would. No. I'm sorry. It was 20. Yeah, 22,000 a year. I believe roughly. I don't know what the numbers are now, but and I could be off. I could be way off. But all I'm saying is, when I graduated with a bachelor's degree, granted it was in philosophy, but that was the thing that I was interested in, and I learned about what I was interested in. Because I thought it was pertinent to any career or any job field I went into, and mostly probably law enforcement because that's where you're dealing with so much information and you're trying to like piece together so many different things and you're trying to like value each thing as far as how much weight it should carry. All I'm saying, I'm not trying to look. I really saw how it could apply. The ability to think critically, I think, is very important. But obviously I'm in the minority. Like there's very few people like I remember and granted Ripon College isn't a big school, like but I mean I think we graduated, we had 6 philosophy majors, I believe for the whole campus for my year. So it's like that's not a lot of people, so I think it's changing though. I think most people realize that it's not memorization can only take you so far. You really have to be able to apply what you memorize. And it's not just about. It's like if you think about it now, a smartphone can memorize everything. So like memorization is almost obsolete. I mean, like if you think about it, before computers existed, memorization was key. It was the most important thing because you remembered everything. You were like the storer of information. You were the person that people came to get the information. But now there is no longer that gatekeeper. And I think in a lot of ways maybe women, well, because you think about it, women will always be the ones that raise kids because they birthed them, right? So like if you think about it, before we had this ability to just have everything be documented, and so you could like literally go back and watch it. That's what I really do love about YouTube, is like, if I make a mistake or I say something stupid, anyone can go back and literally play that moment, and there's no guesswork. But when you have a conversation, and before YouTube and all this stuff and all this ability to document things, you really just had to take people's word for stuff. And like, there's a lot of good liars if you think about it. There's a lot of people out there that are really, really, really good at lying. But I've always believed that your actions will speak louder than your words. I've always believed that words are really just fluff. Like, you can tell a lot about a person by what they do day in and day out. That's what I've always believed. So I'm ready to have just a great time. I really want to make these things happen. Even if they don't, I enjoy thinking about it. Doing, and even if it's like not the people who I mentioned, but it's like other people who I enjoy being around, like, I'm okay with that too. Like, it's not like, that's why I think I had so much fun today, is I didn't really have a destination. I just kind of like trusted that I could figure things out, if that makes any sense. Like, I hopped on the bar. I didn't necessarily, it wasn't like in my head I was like, I'm going to Nations, but I was like, as I started going, I didn't have like a destination, but as I was traveling, I was like, oh yeah, like the next stop is Nations. I should get off and go have a hamburger because I'm hungry. So it's like, it just reminds me of Kristen Bell and how she's saying, like, like the next right thing, with Anna. And it just, maybe if you just clear your mind and you're like, I get out of bed, so what's the next right thing? Like, maybe brushing my teeth, or taking a shit, taking a shower, like, or I'm just saying, like, you stand up, you get up. Like, for me, it's like, when I get out of bed, I'm like, I need to like move my back, or like kind of maneuver myself, and like just get my body moving. And then like, for me, water, then I drink water, and then I usually do have to take a shit, and then I'll drink a cup of coffee, and then I'll sit down for a little bit. No, I'm not trying to, but that's all I'm saying is like, so what if it's like, you literally just take every step, and you're not like looking 30 million steps ahead and trying to like throw all the, like this, that I'm guilty of this, like trying to throw all these Hail Marys and be like, no, I just Hail Mary, and I'm like, well, why am I doing that? Why don't I just, I know it's always so tempting to be like, I want this so badly to happen. But I think at the same time, it's like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm already feeling that way right now. I'm already feeling like the people who I connect with, I'm already starting to move closer to that. Like, metaphorically speaking. Like, I really do believe in magnetism. I really do believe that, like, whatever energy you put out into the universe, it just connects with other people who have that same type of energy, and then it kind of like repels. And like, I think people do change, and I think you can connect with someone at one time, and then you can be repelled by them at a different time. And like, I think that's just life. I think life is this constant like up and down, like waves. So it's like, I'm just right now, I'm really feeling like I had my own personal kind of like downturn, and now I'm seeing that like sometimes you can mess up so much where like you can't even really mess up anymore, because like everything you do is going to be better than like garbage, because like you're literally getting better to the point where you can't like fuck up the way you did before. And I think that's me, and I think we all do that. I think that's what it means to grow up, is to realize that like you are actually really good at something, and it's okay. No, that's what I'm telling myself. I'm like, I am good at some things. But I'm like, what if I'm just shy though? You know what I mean? Like, no, peacemaker. I'm like, what if I'm a grower, not a shower? Dude, the dad was so funny. Dad's like, I haven't seen the movie. I'm just quoting like the trailer. And the dad's like, Dude, you just compared yourself to a chode. Okay, on that note, I'm gonna end it. We're at 35 minutes. I love you. Have a good night. I'm gonna post this for like a random one tomorrow. I posted so many videos today. Dude, I spammed YouTube. But you know what spam spells backward? Maps. Right? Maps? Shout out to the Maps family. Really amazing people. Just like most people I meet, like there's so many good people out there. There really are. Thank you. I love you. This time for real. Have a blessed night. Have a good night. Just sleep well, please. Just dream, relax. Envision yourself accomplishing whatever it is you wanted to accomplish, because that's the only way that your life is going to end in positivity. No, I'm saying it's going to be good. Like you're going to bring about the ending that you wanted. That's what I believe too. And like that ending is never the ending, because like once you get to whatever destination you wanted, there's, you have to look for a new destination. It's like you can't just stand, like it's like there's no growth in that, right? Like if I was good at one thing and I'm just like, all right, here I am, I'm just stay here for the rest of my life. It's like, I don't think that is fulfilling. I think that's why there's this, I don't know if anyone's noticed, but like I think that's why people who they think they made it, they spend most of their time really just pushing other people down, because now they're not focused anymore on like wanting to go and accomplish and do it, and that's why I think you always have to be like searching for something else that's difficult for you. What's difficult for me is not difficult for someone else, and what's difficult for someone else might not be difficult for me. Like there are things that I see people do and I'm like, I just can't do that. I know it's easy, like I know everyone's like, why is this like, I get it, but then I feel the same way. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, how does no one see this? This is like like perfect, but yet everyone, like, sometimes I'm like, there are some situations, some things, like whatever you want to call it, like I'm just like, this is perfect, but most people are like a small blemish, a small this, a small that, any excuse to just be like, I don't feel like doing anything. It's like, well, hold on, like nothing is ever going to be completely handed to you. Like you're going to have to try no matter what you want to. If you want to feel any sort of accomplishment in anything you do, you're going to have to try. You're going to have to really put in your own effort, and then it's like a mirror, right? How much effort you put in is what you get out. That's I didn't want to believe that when I was younger. I really didn't. I thought like I could just, I don't know, say that I did the work and then just pretend like I feel as accomplished as the people who actually put in the work, and then those people are like feeling really good about themselves because like and even if, like, that's the thing I noticed too, is like, even if say you worked really hard or you felt you did absolutely everything possible, like I feel satisfied with not even like being recognized, because I know I put forth everything I possibly could, and I'm walking away with a clear conscience saying like, I did everything I possibly could, no matter what situation it was. And if I didn't, then I'm like, you know what, I fucked it up. Like that's why I'm like, whatever happens, it does it. Like winning and losing, it's like silly. Like win, lose, like you're trying to take a snapshot. A win and a loss is like a picture of your life. Like, but we all know your life isn't a photo. It's not like it's just a photo on a wall. Like that's a moment. Yeah, there's like an infinite number of moments. If you stop to think about how many moments are in your life, there's like more moments than you could ever possibly wrap your head around, because like every blink of an eye is a moment. So it's like, or every blink of an eye is probably like millions of moments. So that's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I don't get looking at things win-loss. Like, I'm like, you beat me, like, even if somebody, like, whatever, like, so say you bested me when you thought I was at my best. I don't even know how you would fucking even know when I would be in my prime to be able to be like, oh, I bested him in his prime. Because here's the thing, if you bested me when when I wasn't in my prime, then how are you even raising your hand up? Like, are you going to raise your hand up if you push over a 3-year-old? Like, that doesn't. I always think it's funny when people like pick on like someone like less than half their size, or really, like, I'm like, especially like kids or like elderly. I mean, dude, it's so weird. It's so weird. I'm like, that's gonna be you. Life, the world, your universe is a mirror. I was thinking about that too. I'm like, people think that they interact with an individual. No, it's like you. There's you, like you, the person hearing my voice right now, and then there's what you're interacting with, which is everything, right? And so I don't see it as like I'm interacting with this individual and then I'm leaving and I'm interacting. No, it's like it's a whole experience. It's a whole experience. And so if I'm being positive through the whole experience, like, I think that is going to take my life in a different direction than if I was being negative. And then there's a scale, right? Like, if I'm being negative more, I'm going to be drastically more further away from where I would have been if I was being positive. And that's why I think, when people say you get away, you never get away with anything. Because when you go anywhere, you go to a destination, that will never lead you back to wherever it is you thought you were going to be at if you went to a different destination. Like, it's not possible. It's like even if you branch off this way like a tree, you're never gonna fake your branch to come back and make it seem as if you're branching out of the tree again on the other side. Like, it's like, how is that gonna even happen? Like, I mean, maybe it's possible, but maybe that's a bad example, but all I'm saying is, like, again, I don't know what I'm saying. I really don't. No, I have no point. I'm at 42 minutes. I just like saying a lot of stuff. And actually, you know what? I do enjoy listening to myself. So, like, at a later date, because that's another thing too. I think everyone should try just recording yourself. Don't even think like, oh, I'm gonna post that on YouTube, because I think in a lot of ways you're opening yourself up to a lot of actually, I really believe that the more people attack you, the more they show their true colors. So I'm actually welcoming anyone who would like to invite bringing negativity to my doorstep, because I'm like, all that means is that you want negativity brought to your doorstep, but I'm not the one to do that. I prefer positivity. If you treat me good, I'm going to treat you better, and there's a scale to that. So even if you're like just 1% nice to me, I'm going to still take that as far as I possibly can. But if you're not, then I'm just gonna, like, I used to engage with people who were not nice, and I'm like, well, why am I gonna go to war with people like that? I think it's more efficient to just step away and allow the other people who actually do like to engage in those type of interactions, and allow them to do that on my behalf. I mean, there's plenty of people who support positivity and support positive people, so I think the world is moving in a direction of positivity. I think it's just, I need to be patient. I think we all just need to be patient. I noticed that today. I'm like walking around San Francisco. I'm like, it really was a really pleasant experience. Not one moment did I ever feel like, I was unsafe. I never did. Now, granted, in the Tenderloin, it did smell. The smell was it was overtaking. Okay, so if I didn't have significant experience with homeless people, it's just, here's the thing. So when you don't bathe for like months, and then like you get really sweaty, and then that dries up, and then that you get sweaty again, and then you crap your pants and you pee yourself, and then that dries, like your pants dry, and then you go through multiple cycles of that. There's like a way that smells that's very unique, and nothing else smells like that. And then you add in like, just like BO and hair and just that smell of dirty hair, and just like all of that kind of comes together to make and then obviously, like, you know, when human feces is on like sidewalks and like walls, um, and just like different things, it has a different, it just smells not like how normal people think. Or even when you poop in the toilet, that just has a normal, that's not what we're talking about. There really is. And I'm just, you know, I think that maybe that's the first step is, you know, that's the first thing I noticed. Like, it's overpowering. So maybe that's the first thing is like maybe we gotta clean up the people, like the people who are smelling bad. No, all I'm saying is, you know, we did that where I worked before. Is they would hose down the walls, and because people would literally just pull the back of their pants down and then just like shoot it out onto the wall. So you would have these long streaks of poo on the wall, and this is a historic West Side. This is a very significant area. So they would have to come through with the pressure washers. But all I'm saying is, maybe, I mean, I don't know if you could, I mean, you know, one thing too, cleanliness is important. I mean, you could kind of say that, like, you know, having people defecate in the streets and like, I mean, that becomes an issue for health. You know, I think we really do need to crack down on a lot of stuff solely for just cleanliness, because like for health reasons, you know, I think that setting aside the fact that, you know, I mean, drugs are a different issue. I think that we can argue about that forever, and I agree that we need to make sure people are doing that where they should be doing it, not on the sidewalk and in the streets. Most importantly, I think it's just the cleanliness. I think that would make a huge difference if we could somehow figure out a way to get some people clean. No, just like physically, like just like maybe. Oh, you know what though too, I really do believe like if you could get people in a nice, like, just get people some new clothing, a place where they could go and bathe. I think that's important as well. You know, like, I do appreciate San Francisco having the toilets. I really think that if there was a way we could figure out to have people just a streamlined way where we could bathe them, get them new clothes. So even like, say if they're homeless and you know, they're coming in dirty, but like if there was an efficient way to get them through with new clothing, so like, you know, like maybe like an automated system where they have to I don't know what I'm saying. I just think that that's all I got for you. Now I'm almost at 50 minutes. I told myself I wasn't gonna go to an hour. Okay, I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, I think, you know, this was fun. First day, a first date. You know, first day of date. First date. I think that's a good date. If you can spend, you know, my wife and I, in the beginning we could spend all, like, literally like a date. I think a date turned into like 2 days. No, well, it turned into at least 24 hours, but I think that's a good date. It's when it just becomes, when it no longer becomes a date, you know? I think that's when it's something special, when it's like, when you're like, yeah, this isn't a date, I just like literally want to be around you all the time, and that's it, you know? And then when you have two people that feel the same way, that's when it's something special. I really believe that. That's when it's really something special. All right, I'm at 49. I love you. Have a good night.